Tuesday, Monday.
Yay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ish. Whatever.
Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in trying not to rain, but probably going to Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
I'm still standing because I wanted to show off my finished Wisp Raglan. I showed it off also. There's like one spot here that's bugging me from the camera's picking up on puckering in the color work. I showed it off on the virtual sit and stitch on Sunday because I just finished it then, and I still have lots of ends to weave in. See them all dangling. I feel like a marionette who's had her strings cut.
The Pinocchio strings I've got no, or the Pinocchio
I got
song.
no strings to hold me down. I don't even know what it actually sounds like, but that's all I remember. There's actually color work in this, but it's really hard to see. I'm joking that I'm a trendsetter because apparently like muted color work is in right now, but I started this like a year ago. So, and it's super drapey. I was saying to Liz, I have to suck my tummy in or else, you
really don't notice it unless you put your hands there and,
Look, I have a tummy. No, I'm sucking it in right now, actually. I think we are our own worst critics.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah. But I do like, okay, this is written, the Wisp Raglan by Tif Neilan, I think it is. It's EI. German pronunciation would be Neilan then. EI. You pronounce the second thing, right? Instead I'm looking at her and she's looking at me like panicked. It was not, that's the German thing. Not a little German, I know. If it's EI, it's the I sound, and if it's IE, it's the E sound. I apologize to Tiff if I'm mispronouncing her last name. But it helps me remember how to spell it because I'm really bad at spelling. So it's got this fun color work at the bottom. You may or may not be able to see right now. And this is pre-blocking. I always like to show y'all how it looks before and after blocking. And I had the whole Ranunculus video on should you block or not. With color work, I like to block because it helps stitches settle. Time can also help the stitches and color work settle. And I just did this. Like this I did earlier, and it looks a little better. But I'm probably going to block this. I just wanted to show you all what it looked like pre-blocking. This was written for sport weight, the pattern. I did it with a fingering weight plant fiber. And so we'll see what happens because I had enough of it, really, basically. And I've made short sleeve sweaters now in both plant fibers and animal fibers. I hesitated at first to do the animal fibers because hotter. If you want to wear it in like the summer, it's a little hotter. But I have since made some, and I more wear them like in the fall. So, I will have a seat now. Let's see. Then you can't see all the color work. It's way down there. I'm so excited though. The other fun thing about the Wisp Raglan is it has eyelets in the raglan construction, which yes, you might see better if I hold it out, if I had a dark shirt underneath. So, you have options when you wear it. I could probably wear it with nothing underneath. Woo, scandalous, but I don't have to have a buffer layer, but I like a buffer layer first if I get hot and need to take it off. And second, because then I wash this shirt more often than I wash this one. It's like brilliant. No, not really. Anyway, I'm so excited to finally finish a project. I mean, except for this, which, hopefully I'll take care of those before I block it.
Weaving in ends. You either will or you won't.
I will, because I don't want it to get stuck in the washing machine, and it bothers me right now when I'm wearing it. So I will not be wearing this for the entire day today.
It's true.
But this is very exciting. But I think your hair is even more exciting. And is that a new dress?
No, it's no, it was one I wore during the yarn crawl. So like it was a new dress for the yarn crawl.
It's a new dress for our viewers though.
It is.
And my apologies. She wore all new dresses like Thursday and the weekend, and I didn't get pictures. I have neglected my duties.
We'll recycle them this weekend.
We will make sure you see them at some point. I'm gonna make Liz get up and show off her dress and her hair now, because it's not all about me.
So the dress is like paisley green and dark
Oh, that's the
teals
paisley
and-
one you're talking about?
Well, it's
Maybe?
one of them.
It's pretty. Like you can't necessarily tell it's paisley.
No, unless you're
If anyone is
up
averse to
close.
paisleys, I do actually like a good paisley. It depends. So I think it just has a really cute pattern to it because and it still has that edge of being dark and broody.
So it's dark and broody, and
Yeah.
oh my god.
Mhm.
I was debating about which one to wear with my hair today because I have purple pops, and they don't really show up on camera. There's
they
purples.
show up in person.
There's
She's got
purples
her
and
hair is
teals
much
and-
brighter than it was last week. I will say, much more vibrant.
I had roving that was calling my name, so it wasn't calling, it was screaming, going, "You have to make hair out of me." So
So she did.
I wound up felting all last week and then putting it in this week. And my brother says it looks tie-dyed.
Kind of.
Kind of.
If you
Well,
want it to
hanging on
look
the
like that.
hanger,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you
yeah.
know. But
I like it. I think it
it's
looks
greens
mermaidy.
and teals and purple.
I repeat myself. It looks mermaidy.
It looks mermaidy.
Yes. You look like a mermaid in a dress. So it's Little Mermaid when she's on land. Maybe.
One of the colorways of the roving is called algae. So
With one strand
kind of
hanging down.
works. Yes.
It's very what is that? Isn't there a hairstyle where you have the wisps
Yeah.
or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my hair, so you can see that I don't know much about names of hairstyles. I almost
do
almost
this
attempting a
and, you know.
messy bun, but not. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. Okay, so fantastic. She's coordinated hair and dress. Now you're not going to change your hair every single time to coordinate with your dress because that takes too much time. Right?
No.
Yeah. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm waiting. Are we
I
done?
think I'm good.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Harkening back to another plague. Okay, so so yeah, I'm just this is like it's like linen where like I think this does have linen in it actually,
A
but,
little linen
just a
in it.
little, but you know, linen like you get weird folds and stuff sometimes, and yeah.
And the more you wash and abuse
this-
linen, the more
this-
soft it will become.
This is the EYB Belviso, and it has a stone washed quality. This is why I thought I'd get really strong contrast because next to each other I was like, ooh, this will pop. There's enough of a stone wash look to them both that no, not really. I think the only one this might have had a good contrast with is the cream because it's more of a solid. But that wouldn't have been as fun color wise. And I do like the blue around the top and the bottom. And this is another one of those sweaters I have to get used to like a wider neck on. Like almost all sweaters have a wider neck or else they don't really fit over your head.
That's
Especially with a plant fiber. So like this top would have more structure if I'd made it out of an animal fiber. Like when I say that, I mean wool, maybe alpaca, but especially wool. It's got a lot more drape being made out of a plant fiber. This is just like, almost just like Plymouth's Nettle Grove they used to have. And it's got nettle fiber and everyone always goes, what's that? And I'm like, it's another plant. It's just another plant. It's I don't know
plant that you
why
really
it's the
don't
hip in plant right now, but it is.
because nettle is not really, it's a stinging plant. Like
This does not sting. Let's
no,
be
no,
clear.
because they've processed it, but it's
It's not scratchy.
it's one of those plant, a lot of things they're turning into fibers for spinning or knitting like nettle, and they're turning old rose bushes into like rovings that you can spin.
That's
and
cool.
So
I want to say this, I don't have the tag here, but this is cotton and linen and nettle.
yes,
And the only difference with, and like that's the colorways look very similar to Nettle Grove. Nettle Grove had a little bit of silk in it. Honestly, that this doesn't have silk might actually keep me cooler in the summer if I choose to wear it. So, and I'm pretty sure because Nettle Grove from Plymouth also came in 50-gram balls, and this is 100-gram balls. I'm pretty sure I played Yarn Chicken. This is what I have left of my second ball because it's a fingering weight plant fiber, which it's a little shy of 400 yards because plant fibers tend to be heavier in terms of the scale. When they're putting together 100 grams, you don't get as much yardage out of it. It doesn't mean that this is heavy, 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 but it means you don't get as much yardage. This is still my first skein of the blue, which is only the collars, the cuffs, and a little bit of color work in there. And we'll see how the color work lays once. I'm like, I feel like I look like I'm fondling myself. I'm not. I'm sorry. That was a weird word to use. We'll see how it lays after I block it.
We'll give it a week.
Give it a week. I think part of that pucker I'm seeing, Liz, is also where it falls when I sit. And
it's a thing.
The bind off is annoying me because I didn't try to do it extra loose, because I felt like the sleeves kind of puckered because I did them extra loose. And the bind off's a little tight. It doesn't flare at the bottom. And it also, I don't think it would, it gathers a little as I'm sitting here, but I think it would do that anyway, even with the looser bind off, because I want the length for when I stand up to not be too short, but that means when I sit down, it rides up. So
yeah,
honest assessment of where I am with the length I made it. And I did not make it the length the pattern said. There was a crop version and a high hip version. I made it as long as I wanted to make it.
Because there's a spot in the pattern that's like, here's our two side or lengths.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it shorter or longer, go until you're this far from the bottom
and start your color work. And it was
yeah.
about 6.5 inches or 6 1/4 or something like that. And that worked out. I went till I was about 6 inches from where I wanted to stop, and I started the color work, and I think I like the length. So
it's the same thing with
long story long.
Ranunculus.
Yes.
That, you know.
Even their long version of the Ranunculus is still kind of short, but it's really like, you make it the length you want to. You do not have to follow all the rules all the time. There are certain rules. I try to stay within the box, within the recipe, because I'm making it for the shop. But even then, there are things that I can change because I want it to be longer, you know, or I want a length I'm comfortable with. There are certain parts of a recipe, of a pattern, that if you change them, it might not work. Like changing things for the fit up here, I wouldn't have done, but changing lengths of things once you get through the main measuring parts of it, the parts that are going to determine your fit, you can play around with, I think, with some comfort.
Yeah.
So, and if you're gonna change things, other parts, go into it knowing it might not work. If you're prepared, you will be less disappointed if it doesn't work. Funny how that goes. Okay. My morning meditation this morning was fixing a pole. I got it off the barber cords. This is my ranunculus. For everyone who's making ranunculi still, or for people who've just found our channel or my other channel because of the videos I made on the ranunculus, we've had people saying, oh, but your knit along's just about over, but I still want to join and do this and that. Honestly, our knit alongs don't have an end date. If someone is still working on the Echo Point from January, that's awesome. You do you.
I still have 3. I have one other one at home, and I'm going to start another one.
Clarifying ranunculus that she's talking about. Yes. Because I mentioned the words Echo Point. That's all.
Yeah, no, I'm going to start a sock ranunculi.
Can you
clarify
what you're going to do?
I'm going to use self-patterning sock yarn.
Okay.
To make
I had this vision, I don't know if anyone else did, of like a sweater covered in socks.
That might actually be fun too, but I'm not making socks.
She doesn't like making socks. So here is my lace ranunculus now. I didn't get much knitting done on the torso. I noticed a snag, a pull in this, a silky smooth yarn and a big stitch definition. It gets pulled sometimes. So part of my morning meditation was just redistributing the tension on that. I tried this on for people who came to the virtual sit and stitch on Sunday, and it is about 8 inches. I think I wanted about 10 inches. Doing this is not necessarily a good indicator of where I am at. And pulling up, yeah, good. I almost thought I pulled off the needles. This is an okay estimator, but really not. If you really want to know how long something is on you, put it on stitch holders and try it on.
Yeah.
I want to do a couple, one or two more inches on this before I do the bottom. But what I was kind of sidetracked from, what Liz was carrying on with is even though we're moving to socks in June, you can still be making ranunculi. You can still be posting about that on the knit along. That's why we left it an open-ended knit along page, not an Echo Point page or a ranunculus page. It's because people will be working at their own paces. They could decide to start a ranunculus right now, and that's fantastic. That's wonderful. I may have all the knit alongs partially going all the way. I don't even know. We are inventing our own idea of how a knit along functions as we do it. So we've had people come up and say, well, why aren't you charging for your knit along? And there's reasons for that. There's, it's with mystery knit alongs and things that are hosted by the pattern writers, you buy in by buying the pattern. For our knit alongs, like some people do knit alongs where you pay a fee to enter it, or you have to buy yarn from the shop or something like that. But usually there's a designated sit and stitch time for that. There's something that comes with paying that fee. There's designated times to sit and hang out. There's designated help available that's included, things like that. We have people knitting from far and wide who wouldn't have the same access as people who are here in town. And honestly, putting them on top of everything else we're doing as a shop, I can't guarantee help. You can pay for help and you can go to my videos and things like that. But the promise of guaranteed time only to knit on that here at the shop and guaranteed assistance from me is harder for us to carve out. So instead, it's more of a community celebration of either a pattern or a topic like socks, like we're about to do, where we know people who have gotten back to a ranunculus they left years ago because they're just the idea of other people knitting it. It's kind of like a mystery knit along all over the country. It's fun to work on it when you know other people are too. Yeah. And you may or may not see their pictures, but you know, and it's like, wee. So that's what we're doing. I don't need to talk about that on here, but I'll look at that later. That's what we're doing. When we I lost my train of thought. I might edit that part out just a little bit before we put it up. I got a text I have to look at in a little bit that sidetracked me that I'm gonna edit out a little bit. But the knit along is the idea of, well, someone else is doing a sock, so let me do it too. And hopefully we all make progress together. And the knit along page is there for people, if you're on Facebook, for people to get assistance from other knitters who are making socks. I may not be able to answer all questions, but other people hopefully can. Community help. One of me, many of y'all. Yay! On that note, we've narrowed down the socks that are the official part of the knit along, but you can do any sock. That person, we've got 4 minutes, so we're going to answer them later. You can do any sock pattern you like if you don't like the 3 that we've picked. We have picked Hermione's Everyday Sock, which is a great cuff down sock. We have picked Rose City Rollers, which is a great anklet sock if you want to do cuff down on double points. Hermione's written for 2 circulars. You can do anything you want, though. You can change up your small circumference knitting thing. We have also picked Mina's Vanilla Sock Recipe, which is, you can do as either cuff down or toe up, but it has a different shaping for the heel. It's got a short row heel, and I'm going to be teaching it as a class for toe up. So I wanted to pick a few basic patterns, especially for people who haven't tried socks before, so that they can they can venture out to do it. They can give it a try for the first time. And it's our foray into in-person classes and in-person gatherings that we're going to start doing in June, that maybe we can talk a little bit more about on Thursday, because we both got in here late, of course, again, tried, but you know, things were happening at home. And what was I going to say? I got distracted. Maybe we can talk more on Thursday because we really should go open up the shop right now. So we didn't get to talk about much, and I brought in other things to try on, but either I'll do that Thursday or next Tuesday. Thank you all for watching. Our subscriber rate. Is that why you brought water over here? You're gonna do. I was like, why is she pouring water? There's no plants in here to water. She's doing spit joint. So what was I saying? It was something about the schedule.
The schedule. Oh, we're adding in.
Oh, it was our subscription numbers.
And our subscription numbers are 730 something or
try again.
70 something.
972 the last time I looked, which means we are under 30 people away from hitting 1,000 subscribers. Where the 30 comes from. Math. We have virtual sit and stitch tonight. The good news with adding in-person stuff is that we are not getting rid of any of our virtual sit and stitch at the current time. So we have virtual sit and stitch tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom. That's Eastern Standard Time. You get in with the shop phone number
828-877-3550.
And we have the VSC tomorrow. We'll be putting yarns on sale. One of the yarns I wanted to put on sale for the sock knit along isn't coming in yet. So we'll figure something else out. But if you want other options for self-patterning yarn and you want it on sale, you may have to wait another week. If you can't wait, buy it when it comes in. Anyway, Thursday is Dear Becky and Lizzie for our filming. So if you have questions for us, please at this point send them to Liz at her email, which is
liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
Okay. And then there's another virtual sit and stitch on Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Our next Sunday, which only happens once a month, Sunday sit and stitch on both Facebook Live and Zoom is going to be June 12th. We have decided because the 4 weeks out from I was going to say yesterday, but from Sunday is Father's Day. So we're not doing Father's Day. We're doing the week before. And I'm sure we have lots more to tell y'all, but we wanted to at least give you a half an hour or so of us. And so here it is. Okay. We got to go open up the shop. And that person who called will probably try to call us back once the clock strikes 10. So we love you all. We miss you. And we'll tell you more about all the in-person, which will be outside options. We might talk about them Thursday. If not, then definitely on Tuesday. All right, because they start in June. Bye.